So what is going on, guys? It is your boy Garage Gaming here, and today I'd like to do a little video about a tank that I am almost certain will be in the upcoming French Ground Forces tree in War Thunder. Now, this tank in particular, it's not very well known. I mean, I assume that anyone who knows anything about French armour will know about this tank, but I mean, on the general masses, you could point to a T-55 or a Conqueror or whatever, and most people could say, yeah, that's one of those. You'd get a picture of this thing up and people would be like, that's a pretty weird looking Leopard 1. They wouldn't actually know what this tank is. The tank in question is the Atelier De Construction Medium Tank, or AMX-30 in English, and it's a shame that this tank isn't as well known as the Leopard 1, and firstly in this video I'm going to involve pictures, and I'm going to tell you why this tank should be in the game. Well, let's hang on. Why did I say that? Let's refresh that. I'm going to talk about the variants which I believe will be in game and all that stuff, but a bit later on. Firstly, I'm going to tell you about where it came from and all that other historical stuff that my channel was supposed to be about, but you know. So I think it's time we get started on the history stuff. A contemporary of the Leopard 1, the AMX-30 was developed from a need for France to have a potent modern main battle tank, as many failed French tank programs such as the AMX-50 and the Chatillon 25T failed to see fruition. As both Germany and France adopted the M47 patent too, both sought to produce a joint modern medium tank. This extended to a European tank consortium called Finabel, consisting of other NATO members. The group called for a so-called Europanzer, specified for 30 tons, 105mm gun, and it had to have a power-to-weight ratio of 30, that's horsepower per ton, and a 350km range. And this is why the Leopard 1 and the AMX-30 are so similar, as they are birthed from the same requirements. However, as politics, armament choices, and German reluctance got in the way, the consortium split and the other two countries started developing their own similar, yet so differing vehicles. So, sort of getting to the point here, the Atelier De Construction Medium Tank, or AMX-30, is a very light, very low profile MBT, which is both fast and well armed with a rifled 105mm F1 cannon. This cannon fires a very particular type of shell called the Obus G, or Obus G, and it's a heat shell which is uniquely designed with a sort of inner shell and an outer shell separated by ball bearings, which means the inner shell is stationary during firing. I thought it was sort of a precursor to the sabot shell, but don't quote me on that. The shell is apparently more accurate than contemporary heat FS, with an effective practical range of 3,000 meters. It had a 780-gram warhead, which could defeat 400mm of armor at all ranges, sort of similar to the heat FS on the Leopard 1. The early versions of the tank could fire HE and smoke, with 50 rounds being stored in the vehicle in total. Later versions of the tank were equipped with APFS-DS rounds, so that's pretty interesting. So the implications in-game could see a few variants existing. They would be faster, less armoured versions of the Leopard 1 in playstyle, which would punish the unaware and careless, as well as being an effective sniper tank in-game. The earliest version would probably be the AMX-30A, or prototype, with a BR of 7.7 or 8.0. Interestingly, the tank never fired APDS and would need an Obus G to be the stock shell. It would have a coaxial and roof 7.62mm machine gun. Afterwards in the line, an 8.3 to 8.7 variant of the AMX-30, called the AMX-30B Valerie, could be introduced. This would include a stabilizer and a coaxial 20mm cannon, as you can see in the picture there. This would shred light tanks and low-flying aircraft. A third variant, called the AMX-30B2, could be added instead or after the Valeries, essentially the same tank but with an APFS-DS shell, a laser rangefinder, and an improved 750 horsepower engine. Of course, those vehicles would reside at rank 5. I'm not finished, however, as there are potential rank 6 variants which would follow. The Brenus kit would see an AMX-30B with added Briquet Reactives de Surbombage armor, which is French for reactive armor, which is about 114 reactive armor bricks, similar to the M60 Rise. It would make it very potent. However, people might complain about this vehicle being introduced since, well, it's kind of like dates and stuff. It wasn't introduced until 1995, so people might take issue with that. However, in reality, the vehicle is only using 1970s technology, so it should be fine in my opinion. So now I'd like to get on to some other variants of the AMX-30, which people would probably like to see introduced into the game, and starting off with what would potentially be the French Rank 5 Premium, is the export version of the tanks called the AMX-32. And this is based on the B2 version, but features additional spaced armour, and yeah, like I said, could possibly be the Rank 5 Premium of the French for grinding everything out. Additionally, there's the AMX-30 DCA SPAAG, which is a dedicated SPA equipped with two Hispano-Suiza 831A cannons, 30mm cannons, rather similar to the British Falcon in armament, but the Flak Panzer Gepard in hull. To me, the most interesting concept for the AMX-30 is the AMX-30 Achra, or Anti-Char Rapide Autopropulse, which is an ATGM system similar to the US Shillelagh gun missile system. It features a 142mm cannon capable of firing supersonic ATGMs and HE shells. I don't know about you, but I'd love to see everyone get the shits about this tank being added, personally. I mean, in my eyes, most people will draw parallels to the M60 Starship, since that's an ATGM on a medium tank hull, but I think this thing would play more like the Sheridan, because it is very fast. Remember, this thing only weighs 30 tons, and it would have a quite potent engine in it, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Another thing is that the ATGM is supersonic, and not sure how people would sort of enjoy that or not, but I'd be very saddened if Gaijin didn't add this vehicle, because it's so unique in look, design, and potential, capability, all those different things. So, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Of course, I've neglected to mention the other variant of the AMX-30, which, I mean, other nations don't have these contemporary vehicles in their tech trees, so I didn't include them. But basically, there's an SPG version of the AMX-30 with a massive 155mm gun. There is a mobile SAM version of it, but again, there's no SAM launchers in the game. And then there's like a tactical ballistic missile launcher version of the game, which would just be completely useless. As well, of course, all the engineering variants and bridge layers and just stuff that no one would have any use for in game. So, other than all those points, I believe I've covered everything. Keep your eyes peeled, as another famous French tank will soon receive an overview similar to this, albeit probably better, because now that I've had a bit of experience with this, I can, change things up a bit. And yeah, so hope you guys have enjoyed the content. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you hated it, and comment down below any thoughts at all. Hope to catch you guys next time, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you can, if you want to receive the notifications. I should be seeing you guys next time then. See ya!